Okay, let's look at these scenarios. Now, we're told that Mr. Gina wants to buy a television set that costs 27,660. Now, if the average rate of inflation over the last 5 years was 6.7%, calculate the cost of the television set 5 years ago. Now, questions like this need a careful reading so that we don't confuse the value of A, the future value, and the value of P, the principal or the present value. Now, very easy trap to fall into is learners when they read this, they read here, Mr. Gina wants to buy a television set that costs 27,660 Rand now. And the minute they see now, the learners will definitely conclude that this is a principal amount. But let's be very careful. Mr. Gina wants to buy a television set that costs 27,660 Rand now. Now, full stop. The full stop tells us a lot of things that we have stopped at this trail of thought and then we are continuing on. If the average rate of inflation over the last 5 years, now from the now we have the last 5 years, okay, which is the past, okay. So the now actually represents the future from this last 5 years. If the average rate of inflation over the last 5 years was 6.7% per annum, so this is the interest rate, calculate the cost of the television set 5 years ago. So we want the P value, what the present value was 5 years ago in the past. So we want P. So when you read this carefully, you don't make the mistake of saying this is P and then that is A, but you make the sweet solid conclusion that because we are talking about the television set costing this amount of money now, the past 5 years, the inflation rate was that. Now, inflation, this is a key word. Remember, what is inflation? Inflation is the average increase in the cost of goods and services over a period. We can use compound interest formula. So this also gives us an idea as to which formula we are supposed to use. We are not going to use the simple interest formula. We're going to use the compound interest formula, which is this one. A is equal to P into 1 plus I brackets to the power n, not this one. So very important identification of the correct formula as per the scenario. So let us go to a clean, fresh page and say A is equal to P1 plus I to the power n. I know I'm going to be using this formula. Let us collect the raw data, because I like doing that. We collect the raw data, we select the right formula, we substitute the raw data into the right formula, and then mascale. A is equal to, so our A value, as I said, is 27,660 Rand. Very important, okay, because it is the amount, it is saying the cost. Mr. Gina wants to buy that costs 27,660 Rand now. If the average rate of inflation over the last 5 years was that amount, so the average rate R over 100, that means 6.7%. Divided by 100, remove the decimal twice, so that's 0.067. Then N, how many years? 5 what? 5 years. P is what we are looking for, that amount that it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, we want to find out what the present value was. Very important, this thing. So 27,660 Rand equal to P 1 plus I 0.067 to the power n, that's 5. So here, this is one of those situations where you can see we want P, we want to make the subject, so we are applying literal equations from term 1 again. What we are going to do is we are actually going to divide both sides by what? We're going to divide both sides by what we want to get rid of. P is multiplied to this entire bracket, so we are going to take 1 plus 1 plus 0.067 to the power 5, but what we do on the left, we do on the sweet right? Okay, then that will lead to a cancellation there. We're left with P. Now we take our calculator, we find out what this will give us. That's 27,660 rand. So 27,660 rand. Okay, we're going to divide all of that. Okay. So obviously your scientific calculator can actually appear in that fraction form. But because I'm using this online calculator, please guys, your scientific calculator, you divide. Now I'm going to open brackets there so that whatever is inside that bracket can actually reflect. Sorry, let me just redo this again. So 27,000 what? 660. Then we do them brackets. And we say 1 what plus, that is 0, 0. Please guys, your calculator, you would actually utilize that correct then the only question now is, how do I write the exponent, which is 5? Okay, doesn't seem like that will work. Okay, doesn't seem like that will work too. But guys, yeah, I think I'm just having a bit of a problem or a challenge here of being able to express the exponent. Okay, technical issues there. Alright. But I think you guys get the point, right? You get the point. You get the point. You get the point. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it up to you to actually tell me what that value is in the comment section. Round it off to 2 decimal places. Okay, because that would be my p-value, which is the amount that that television costed 5 years ago. Okay, so I'm going to trust you guys to tell me what the television cost 5 years ago. So round it off to 2 decimal places in the comment section, please.